Hi, folks. This is Lee Thurman again, and we're talking again with Mike Blake, who's the owner and builder for Mike Blake Custom Homes. And Mike builds, as you've heard me say before, if you watch these other videos, beautiful homes. And you can check that out by going to MikeBlakeHomes.com. Just beautiful homes. He builds probably 15, 20 homes a year, and they tend to be sort of high-end homes. And so if you're not a high-end home buyer, you can go and get ideas for when you're successful, what kind of house you can get. And if you are a high-end home buyer, you need to check that website out because it's got some great stuff. But today I want to ask Mike, I want to ask you about competitive advantage in the sense that how do you differentiate yourself? I mean, you're obviously successful. You're building great homes. You've got a steady supply of customers. You figured out the marketing, but talk to me about why when somebody chooses you, what are the reasons that they choose you? How do you differentiate yourself in the market?
Well, that's a great question. And Lee, thanks for doing this. I really appreciate the opportunity. For us at Mike Blake Homes, one of the things that we've really kind of focused in on is what sets us apart, like you said, in the building industry. I think one of the things people are looking for is expertise. They want to feel like they're dealing with someone that's an expert in what they do. They're one of the best. They're at the top of their game in terms of what they do for the customer. And that's what we really focused on the last several years. We really worked hard with our architects, with our design team, and our customers, and really just trying to create a design build situation that really catches the essence of what the customer is looking for, but then able to execute it in a way that creates a really top-notch product. And then turn around and take pictures of that product, believe in what we're doing, enter it into contest, and let us go up against other builders in the industry. And let's just see where we stack up against our competition. And so far, with the awards that we've won, we're very proud of that. Our team has done a great job. We stack up very well. And our awards that we've gotten for our kitchen designs and for our bath designs and master suite designs have been really well received, and we're very proud of what we've been able to accomplish.
So when you think about the choices that are out there, I mean, there's a lot of custom home builders. There's a lot of people who've been around for a long time, and I'd like to ask you to compare yourself to two other types of builders. Compare yourself to the custom home builder that is after the exact same market that you're after, people that are successful in life and they're building their dream home, which is, the kind of homes you build. You build lots of dream homes. So there's a lot of builders out there after that. When somebody looks at you versus one of those builders, and when you win the business, why do you think you win the business when you go up against another custom home builder?
Well, I think a couple things that we get consistently told that stands out versus the competition. One is our attention to detail. We have a really high attention to detail when we're looking at a plan and we're designing it. I've been involved in so many different houses and the construction of so many different houses from my days back working in the Dallas market with production builders. I mean, thousands of homes that either directly or indirectly oversaw, and also the design of those homes. So I really have an understanding of design as well. So when I'm looking at a design with a customer and we're working with an architect, the customer can sometimes has a hard time seeing it. The architect works on kind of a single dimensional kind of plane, if you will. And me as a builder, I can look at it and many times see how that goes together and kind of describe to them what we're going to be looking at. And sometimes it is a conversation of, you know what, guys, this is not going to go together quite right. So we need to kind of change this and kind of shift gears a little bit. So I think it's the level of detail that we bring in terms of the design part of it and understanding how components are going to go together. And then the second part to that detail, again, is our specifications. When it comes to actually saying what we're putting into the home, we have the most detailed specifications in the business. We're told that consistently by other banks and by our customers that the amount of details in our specs are far and away better than anything anyone's ever seen. And that's our belief that the more detail for the customer, the better the process goes. There are fewer surprises, and our customers are ultimately happier, and that is really the case.
So I live in the Frisco area, and I travel around Frisco and McKinney quite a bit, and I'm sure you're pretty familiar with the area. And there are a lot of great subdivisions up here that a lot of big homes. I'm first of all, I'm kind of surprised at how many 4,000 square foot homes seem to be able to be crammed onto a 1 acre lot. I mean, it's I see these big, really beautiful homes that are on little tiny lots. Now that's a separate issue that maybe we'll talk about at another time. But you drive through a subdivision and there's a lot of beautiful homes that are probably in the $500,000 price range, 500, 600. And while they are not cookie cutter, they do tend to look a lot alike. And so they're obviously homes that have been built off of sort of a limited set of plans with a limited set of sort of external decorations, fascia, brick, and stone, and stuff like that. Compare what you do to a sort of a, I don't know what the right term for the builder is. They're not just spec builders, but they're close to spec builders. They're somewhere in between. I mean, they're customized to spec maybe. So talk a little bit about what extra people get from you, and does it really cost a whole lot more, or are they just missing out on an opportunity?
A great question. I think, in the Dallas market, particularly in any large metropolitan area, the builders in there, as you said, operate most generally off a set of plans, and then they allow modifications. They're kind of a semi-custom builder, if you will, because they operate off the same set of plans. Now, part of that's driven by, as you said, the lots are so small, you don't have a lot of options there. I mean, the single story, because the lots are small, is going to be small. So there's a lot of focus on 2 stories. The other reason why there's so much focus on the 2 stories, it's a lot more cost efficient to go up versus going out. Okay, so there's a couple of things that are at work with those type of builders in the Dallas market that are limiting versus what we do. We're a full design build company. In other words, we design everything from scratch. Very rarely do I repeat the same plan, and that's also what makes my job so much fun, is because it's never the same thing twice. But our area of expertise is that we take a customer, we set them down. They've lived in those homes in the metropolitan area. They want something different. They want something more sprawling, if you will. It has different design elements in it that you can't get in a smaller home, or a home that's a 2-story on a small lot. So that's what they look for us to do, is provide them with the expertise to kind of create a home that's different than what they've lived in before. And so they're more of a semi-custom builder, if you will, and we're more of what's called a design build. We start from scratch and design it and then build it.
Almost every business has a limiting factor in terms of the quality that they're able to produce. And that limiting factor is the people that they have hired for them and how well trained they are. And I know it's no secret that it's tough to know whether or not a contractor is a good contractor. And I'm not talking about you as the builder. I'm talking about the people that actually are swinging the hammers and shovels and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So, you've got a whole bunch of websites and stuff out there that, Angie's List and all that kind of stuff that try to help individuals find good contractors. But I bet that problem is even worse for a builder, because finding good subs that you can rely upon must take years. Talk to me a little bit about that side of your business and how that impacts the quality that you're able to deliver.
Well, that's another great question, because you're so right. I mean, we're only as good as the people actually doing the work. And that's been a challenge, to be quite honest with you. I mean, the Dallas-Fort Worth market is where we're located, is the #1 housing market in the country right now. And so there's a lot of demand on skilled labor, and sometimes it's hard to find those skilled laborers. For us, we've been blessed because we've been in this market for over 10 years now, and we've developed a long-term relationship with our plumbers, a long-term relationship with our HVAC contractors, and our cabinet companies and our electricians. So we have kind of a built-in advantage because we have those relationships with these folks and they provide us with the skill level that we need in order to build the homes that we're contracted to do. So it is a challenge out there. I mean, we hear it all the time from we may get someone that calls us and asks us about remodeling, that they have not had a good experience with that and they're looking for someone, and we don't do remodels, unfortunately, but it's just an indication to me about how the struggle out there is for people. And one last thing on that, I just read an article from the National Association of Home Builders that we're currently 2 million people short in the industry in terms of laborers that can actually do the work in residential construction. 2 million short. And that's creating a lot of pressure there too.
You know, with all the hurricanes and stuff we've had, I'm sure it's, the demand has skyrocketed. But back to the subcontractors, I think you kind of explained it to me once in a previous conversation where you said that you've had time to figure out who the bad ones are and figure out who the good ones are. And now, because you've been around long enough, you've made sure to keep the good ones employed so that you don't have to go through that process again. So I think that's, it's kind of a smart thing. Folks, if you'd like to see more about what, Mike does and the homes that he builds, please visit his website, MikeBlakeHomes.com. You can reach out to Mike plenty of ways through his website and his phone and all that sort of stuff. So, Mike, thank you for taking time today to visit, and look forward to seeing and hearing more about your business in the future. Bye now.
Thanks, Lee. I enjoyed it.